Welcome back to the next series of the COVID-19. So as just to do some of the very fast reporting towards what happened, because this morning I have a long chat with one of my mentor. So a few updates just right to share with you all. So because this is some of the discussion with my mentor actually. So first of all, number one, it would be, as you know that yesterday, the oil price crashed badly. So it's a ripple effect. I hope that Dr. Vincent, please help me to put the link of the Humanology to this group chat. I wish that everybody could read the article that I submitted for one of the ministry actually on the low touch economy. So and when we did the research, is actually to share on the what are the changes it would be, and also what are the way forward for the industry. But it seems that a lot of things is not as what you want. But when the oil price crash, it means that if you could read in my article in the Humanology, are you ready with the low touch economy? Actually, you would see that, okay, so the attack is not as what we think of is just only COVID. It means that the ripple effect will goes to a lot of places. And from the discussion that I knew that the ripple effect will start very soon, which is you will see the first effect by July, which is not right after COVID. So it will start by July or the August. So it will last for even though IMF is very positive towards the economic scenario in the world, towards Malaysia. But with this attack, as you know, that Malaysia is one of the country that depending highly on oil price. So the ripple effect would be there. For example, my mentor also shared with me that one of his subsidiary, one of the contract dropped from a few 100 million to this year, the contract can drop to 2-digit. So this is they are a huge organization, but this is what happened. Not only that, I also heard some information that people visit Jabatan Tenaga Kerja more and more frequent. Then even though one of the common questions that I would ask, it would be because one of the participants asked yesterday, so because usually they're given 60 days for them to launch a report at JTK. So, but now during MCO, how it would be. So yesterday I did consult JTK. For them, is the 60 days would be right after unlock. They give them the 60 days from that. But according to JTM, they mentioned that the case can last as long as the evidence are there. So all the HR, and also please advise your bosses correctly on that, because we would foresee the scenario and the economic crisis would happen. This is real. And also another research that shows that this impact is greater than the big depression in the 1920 plus. I wish that for those CEO that join this group, please refer to the Marvel in the year of 1988 and 1998. What happened? Where are the source of income? So that would help you to venture and also to focus on what are the strategy that you need to do. After reading the article of low touch economy, I'm composing another article to be submitted to one of the organization, one of the ministry very soon, which is on what are the strategy that to help the industry or the field to venture to overcome this scenario. But whereas when all this happened yesterday, you already foresee, okay, cut pay is one of the method. Then shifting of maybe Monday, Tuesday you work, and then the other day, so that would be another option. It would be so Another one, it would be they give you a termination letter. It could be that one is worst scenario, or you got retrenched. It could be. So all these scenarios could happen very soon. But what happened now is that so everybody is living in the stage of fear, anxiety, and also uncertainty. So because of this, so that's why how you as a HR, or even though if you are the manager, how should you communicate? How should you motivate your employees so that the balance that stay in the company will remain motivated, will remain be contributing to the organization to undergo this process. So without talking much, let me introduce to you the guru of motivation in Humanology, Mr. Soo Hoo. Mr. Soo Hoo served as a past president of the Malaysia Association Professional Trainer and Coach. He also a trainer in the area of subliminal persuasion, NLP, of course, entrepreneurship, mindset breakthrough scene 2007. In his recognition of his achievement contribution, Mr. Soo Hoo is awarded with prestigious Global Training Development Leadership Award by the World HRD Congress in their Silver Jubilee celebration, and Distinguished Trainer in Asia Training and Development Excellence Award. Not only that, he's just for everybody information, he's also the council member of CBMRA, and for the research for the development of the new trainer model, he's one of the core researchers. So he will present the new model to everybody. So once after research is completed. So with this, I will pass to Mr. Soo Hoo to continue his presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dato. Thank you, everybody, for attending. I'm just going to ask a very new question, a very new question. If you can hear me, quickly type yes on your chat screen. Quickly just type yes if you can hear me. All right, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing about motivating your employees post-MCO. Let's begin this journey together. A quick introduction about myself. I think Dato has introduced me earlier. My name is Soo Hoo, very easy to remember. In Malaysia, it's temperature. Yeah, I am a law graduate. I don't know how many other law graduates out there in the chat. If you are one, you can put up a comment and say LLB or something, and we know your fellow law graduates. I know a lot of law graduates did not become a lawyer. I didn't become a lawyer either. All right. I finished my law. I didn't do my CLP. I ventured into sales and then started my own business and moved on from there into training. I'm a certified NLP trainer. I certify people in basic and master practitioner certification. I also do hypnosis, and I'm a PSMB training facilitator. Now, with PSMB HRDF, I also do the assessment of the new lead trainers, and I work with a lot of trainers around Malaysia to uplift the quality of training delivery in Malaysia. Today, we are going to be talking about the journey ahead of us in motivation. A quick introduction. We're then going to move on to what motivation is and was. We're going to look at the human needs. We're going to then look at motivation direction. And finally, I'm going to wrap it up in what happens post-MCO. So let's begin with a very quick introduction of what motivation is about. These have been a very much older version pre-MCO of how to motivate your employees. In particular, for the last 2-3 years, most of the clients who come to see us have always been asking us, how do we motivate the millennials? How many of you here in this chat has a or was on a journey to understand and to motivate millennials. Just very quickly type down the words Gen Y, so I know that this is going to be relevant to you. Yes, Norasma, I see that. Vincent, yes. Oh, there's a lot of people. Gen Y, Gen Y, Gen Y, Gen Y. Wow, 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 wow. Whoa. Lots of people have challenges in the past with Gen Ys, isn't it? Yeah. So in the last 2-3 years, a lot of HR practitioners, a lot of training managers have asked us, so how do you work with the Gen Y? How do you understand the Gen Y? Now, I tell them there's no difference between Gen Ys. And they go like, huh? What do you mean there's no difference between Gen Y? Gen Y has a very different mindset. Vincent says that, right? Very different mindset. The understanding is this. It's not about the generation, but it's about the exposure that Gen Y has gotten around the environment. Unlike the Generation X, right? Unlike Generation X or, baby boomers, most of the baby boomers were not exposed to technology, and therefore their understanding of their worldview is limited to what they have experienced and seen. The Gen X were in the middle of both. They started without much interconnectivity, and then in the 80s and 90s started to be connected more and more into the world. So the Gen X have that balance. The Gen Y, however, came in with a complete exposure to things around them. My 7-year-old son is asking me questions that I have no clue even existed. How am I going to answer a question that I have no way to understand even the question itself? So we went to study the millennials for 2 or 3 years, and we find that to motivate them, these are the 5 things we can do. All right, 5 things. Number 1, to mentor them. They're not looking at somebody to teach them or to instruct them. They're looking at somebody who has done it, a person who's senior, who's done it, who is going to go down and guide them and bring them along in the journey. They're looking for a mentor. They're looking for what? Mentor. The second thing is they're looking for flexibility and time. They don't want to be just 9 to 9, 6 days a week. They want to be looking at to have a work-life balance, to have some flexibility, to have a say in what they can and cannot do. The third thing is to look at the reward and validation. They want to feel the being rewarded. They want to feel the validation from the organization that what they're doing is correct. They're looking at feeling a sense or significance in that sense, a sense of esteem in that sense. Yeah, they don't mind working for new startup organizations as long as they align with the company vision. It's not about just getting a job. A lot of the HR practitioners I speak to, they think the Gen Y is all about just an income, just any job. I just want to more salary, more salary, more salary. It's not true. If we look deeper, a company may pay less, but if the company vision aligns with the personal vision they have, they are happy to take a lower paying job. But if they can't find a company that aligns with their vision, then they're going to be demanding for more money, more money, more money, because in their mind, they have to balance the stress of the work for a company that doesn't align with their vision with the money. And the last one of the 5 is they want to feel empowered. They want to have a say in their motivation, in their reward recognition system, in their training and personal development system. They want to be empowered to do the work, not just be instructed to do the work. So this was the research that was done pre-MCO. And then came the lockdowns. All across the world, we started to see companies after companies, countries after countries going into a lockdown mode, a shutdown mode. It's like a wake-up call for everyone. Dato was talking about, let's look back in 1920s, 1988 and 1998. and study what has happened in those days. I'm going to challenge the norm by saying this: the lockdown and the COVID death is going to be nothing compared to what's about to come in career death. Nothing. Why do I say that? In 1998, when we had the Asian economic crisis, US was not badly hit. So the countries that tagged on to US were pulled upwards. In 2008, when US home mortgages and economy collapsed, China was an upward trend, and we tagged on to China and we went upwards. In 2020, China is not on an upward trend. US is not on an upward trend. Europe is not on an upward trend. All around the globe, companies, countries, and individuals are not on an upward trend. What that means is things are going to change radically different. And that's what we're going to explore in this program today. So let's look at motivation first. Let's understand, how is it that people are motivated in the first place? This is what's happening in what we call the low-touch era. This is a research that was done and summarized from the Board of Innovation and also published in the Humanology's editorial. It's a tongue twister, I can't get it right. So if somebody were to quickly type down the name of Humanology, yes. So thank you. And it was published in the latest edition to talk about the low-touch era. And low-touch is going to be the way forward. It's going to be the new norm. If you think social distancing is going to last as long as MCO only, you are going to be in for a shock, because the low-touch era is here. There's a new terminology to other than low-touch era, is post-physical world. The post-physical world, or the low-touch era, is about an inability for human beings to connect together. The MCO, we have limited gathering. We are restricted on traveling. There is strict hygiene requirement. We are all working from home. E-commerce is on the rise. Everything is on delivery. Even e-health. You don't go and see a GP. You go on e-health to find out if your symptoms match anything and then what kind of medication you need. Work and life is completely mashed up. In the past, can you imagine a trainer and participants attending a program in t-shirt? No way. Everybody is dressed up. But in the MCO, work and life has been completely mashed. I've seen global speakers during the presentation having to pause for a while to let their cat out of the house. I've seen children come in and ask for things. I think that is getting more and more common as everybody is working from home and you're using Zoom or GoToMeeting or any kind of tool. How many of you have seen, in a business meeting that somebody has to put a pause? I had one participant tell me the boss had to put a 2-minute pause because the dog wanted to be let out of the house. And it's getting common. People are starting to accept that. And what that means is the work-life divide is going to be removed or partially removed, and people are going to be able to connect differently. Post-MCO, this is what we're expecting. We're expecting even more anxiousness and depression. People are getting nervous, like Dato put it, fearful. And a lot of people are afraid. Afraid for their work and afraid for their health. There's a damaged trust in hygienic product, What do I mean by that? It's like when somebody delivers products, right? It's so easy, you know. Last time we just give them our IC number over the phone and then they're going to chuck the item into the house. But that's no more the case. They will message us, call us. We give them the item number, IC number. They'll leave the item. They'll go off. We'll carry it with our rubber gloves into the house. We'll remove all the external packaging, discard it away along with our rubber gloves, sanitize our hand before we take out our item. And things have changed so radically. It's going to be extremely likely for travel restrictions to be continued, even within country. Work from home is going to be optimized. Gen Ys are going to love it. But there's going to be a big stress on the work going into the life if we continue our motivation structure from the pre-MCO era. And I'll share a little bit more of that shortly. There's going to be rising tension and conflict, definitely, even at home. You know, yesterday we were seeing a report about how the police is receiving a lot of reports and complaints of domestic violence. We're going to be looking at unprecedented level of global unemployment. People are losing their jobs all over the world. In Malaysia, we are expecting something like close to 1.8 to 2 million jobs. Takeout and home delivery of everything is going to be the norm. We are going to have limited contact with older generation because of the danger of passing on the viruses and germs to the older generation. Our identity is going to change. Nowadays, when you ask someone, hey, what do you do? Hi, what's your name? Can I know more about you? Most of the people answer after their name is their job. Hi, I'm Soo Hoo, I'm a trainer. Hi, I'm Soo Hoo, I'm a coach. Hi, I'm Soo Hoo, I'm a HR practitioner, I'm a HR manager. We take our jobs to become our identity, and that's going to change. We're going to look at the value of certified immune customers, people who are certified to be immune to certain diseases. And that's going to be coming in very important going forward. And this is during the low touch era. All right. Let's look at then how do you jump into the human needs. So how many of you are familiar with Maslow's hierarchy? Just very quickly type down Maslow so I know you understand what I'm going to be talking about next. Just quickly type down Maslow if you understand what it is. Wonderful. Okay, that's wonderful. That's a lot of people who already know what Maslow is all about. Just Google. Thank you for your honesty, Bala. Do I call you Bala or Subra or Maniam? Or any one of the both? I'll call you Gary. Sorry. Vincent, so internet. I'm quite sure Vincent is a Gen Y. Are you a Gen Y, Vincent? Born in 82. Okay, Gen Y. All right, so let's take a look at Maslow and also what Tony Robbins calls his 6 human needs. I'm going to talk about Tony's first, since a lot of you know Maslow already. We'll come to Maslow shortly. Let's look at the 6 human needs. And what do I mean by these 6 human needs? Tony Robbins says that in every human being, there are 6 things that we all crave for and need. Without these 6, we will not be able to do anything. And these are the 6 things that we need in order for us to be able to do anything. So if you want to motivate someone, all we need to understand is what are these 6 things. and which one of the 6 is most important to the person we are motivating. So for example, our employees, if you're motivating them, they all have these 6 human needs. Depending on which one is most important for them, that's the one we use in order to motivate them. Got it? So the first one is everybody in the world needs certainty. They need what? Certainty. Now, what does certainty mean? Certainty is the fact that they need to be sure of what they're doing. They need to be sure, for example, I'm sure a lot of you are sitting down just like me. We need to be sure that the chair we sit on is able to support our weight. If we don't have that kind of certainty, we will be incapacitated. We cannot work. So for a lot of people who are employees, guess what? They need to have certain certainty that if I do my job, if I log in at 9 and log out at 5, and I attend my work every single day, and I meet my KPI, and I do this and I do that and I do this and I do that, I will have the certainty of receiving my salary. That's a basic and most fundamental need of all human beings. So, why are people right now in a lot of fear? Because this certainty, which many people had, is now shaken to its core. This morning, I woke up to petrol price futures being in negative. So I'm thinking, can I bring my car to the petrol station and ask the petrol station owner to pay me to take away his petrol for him? Isn't that cool? It's crazy, isn't it? Petrol price have dropped to negative. Petrol futures rather have dropped to negative. Even for a local Brent crude oil, we are looking at below $20. That's complete madness. So a lot of people, the certainty is gone. That's one of the reasons why, yes, we get more, we get money when we fill out our tank. Yes, Zamro, we definitely is going to get our companies to do that, man. We should go and see Petronas and Shell and tell them, pay me so I can take away your petrol for you. That'd be cool, isn't it? Yeah. So the certainty is shaken to the core. And that's why a lot of people have a lot of fear right now, because what was certain in the past doesn't seem certain for the future. Now, weirdly, as much as human beings need certainty, human beings also need variety. If we have too much certainty in our life, we get bored. So for a lot of people, we have certainty, we do our work, we get paid, we do our work, we get paid, but we crave for some variety in the way we do our work. We crave for some differences in the way we do for our work. That's one of the reasons why a lot of SOPs and a lot of these ISO standards have resistance from people. Even like uniform, for those organizations that have uniform, you have some resistance from people. They want to be able to maybe paint their nail differently or put on a different accessory, because as much as people need certainty, we are not robots, we are not ants, we need variety in our life. So for the people who value a lot of variety, guess what? Right now, they are enjoying. Every day is different. Every day is unique. Until MCO has gone on for now, what? Almost slightly over a month. The certainty of being stuck at home has crept in. The variety has been removed. So these people are also under stress because it's so certain that they're going to be home. So this is certainty and variety. They are sitting on opposite ends, but we're always balancing out, and we need both. We need the certainty as well as variety. Now, how many of you, let me ask you this question, how many of you have watched any show you have, like that you like any show, you have watched a show multiple times, all right, because you are certain that it's a good show, and you might have forgotten enough about it that some variety, some new differences or distinctions that you can get from the show. So if you watch any show, you have watched it more than one time, or in fact you have watched it more than 3 or 4 times, maybe you can quickly type down the name of the show, so that we know what kind of shows you guys are watching. Yes, Zaino. Yes, share with us what is the show that you normally watch. Running Man, Friends. Ooh, I like that one. That's a long one. Sons of Anarchy, Avengers, Friends. A lot of Friends fans here. P. Ramlee, yeah. Big Bang. Oh, I love that one. Harry Potter, Ip Man, Money Heist. That's a new one, Money Heist. Rocky Balboa, yeah. So why do people watch the same show? Sometimes not even multiple episodes. Cool Running, I love that one. Yeah. You know, not even multiple episodes. Some people watch the same show multiple times. Why? Because there's a certainty that the show is great, and there's variety that I might have forgotten enough about the show that I'm going to be able to see different distinctions around the show as well. Yeah. So that's the first 2 of the 6 human needs. Okay. Sorry, let me just grab a drink of water. Vampire Diaries. You must be very young, Liana. So, what's the third one? The third of the 6 human needs is this. It's love and connection. Love and connection. Human beings are inherently pack animals. We don't live on our own. Human beings have a inbuilt need to connect with other human beings. Because you see, for the first 3 years of the human child's life, as human, we are born as food in the animal kingdom. Let me explain what I mean. When a baby is born, the baby has no way to defend himself or herself. They don't have a shell. They don't have spines. They don't have a poisonous skin. They don't have anything toxic within their body other than, their poop and pee. They don't have claws. They don't have a outer, shell to protect them, or bones or any of the things. We are basically nutritious, protein rich, fatty, chubby food for the other animals in the animal kingdom, which is a reason why for the first 3 years of a human baby's life, we need the protection of adult humans. Therefore, we have inherently built in our mind this need to connect with other human beings. Whether you're introverted, extroverted, or otherwise, like me, I'm an extreme introvert. Extreme. But I still have a need to connect with other human beings. You might not want to connect all the time if you're introverted, but you still need some form of connection. And you know what's weird? Introverts connect with other introverts, and they even have introverts support groups. Pretty cool, isn't it? So that's the third human need, the need to connect, the need to feel belonging, the need to be part of something. Balance that with the fourth need, which is significance. If we are completely part of something, completely uniform, completely the same with everyone else, the human mind will go, no, I'm not an ant, I'm not a robot. They need to feel some form of significance, some form of self. They need to understand that, hey, I am still unique in my ways. So as I'm part of something, I'm still significant as an individual. If you drown out the significance, a person will feel lost. That's why a lot of marriages sometimes have this midlife issue when one party in the marriage might feel that their identity is lost within everyone else's. Somebody's on not muted, and we can hear a gentle scream behind. So if you're not muted, maybe you can quickly mute your line. Can I get the other co-hosts to take a look at who is not mute at the moment and just mute the person? Thank you. Yes. Okay. Muted. Done. So yes. Where was I? Significance. This is a reason why some people have this mid marriage or mid life or mid career disconnect when they feel that their personal individuality is lost within the marriage or within the career, and they need to find their own significance again. This is when men go on their motorbike rides, and sometimes women start to change their appearance because of this need for significance has been ignored maybe or lost for some time. So the first two, certainty and certainty, is a balance among each other. The next two, love and connection and significance, is balance among each other. Marcus, unfortunately I don't ride. Bicycle maybe can. Yes, so we have the certainty, uncertainty, and then we have love and connection and significance. So these four form the initial basis, the most core of all human needs. Any addiction becomes an addiction because it fulfills these four needs. So let's look at some different types of addiction. If anyone were to quickly type one type of addiction we have, or it doesn't have to be you have, but people have, human beings have, and then we can quickly share how it fulfills these four needs. Anyone? Coffee, great. So Ernest said coffee. I'm going to cover coffee first. So for coffee, for example, there's a certainty that when you drink coffee, it has the same taste. Yet for coffee, there's a variety of different types of coffee. And people who drink coffee generally are seeing themselves in their identity as a coffee lover. So the need for love and connection is there for them to be able to say, hey, I'm a coffee connoisseur, I love coffee. Where do you get yours? I have a friend who has, like, he's got to take out all his kacang, all his tools. He'll put in the beans, he'll grind himself, and then he'll mix this and mix that, and then voila, coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker. I'm not addicted to coffee. For me, it's like 3-in-1 pour-in stir drink, So coffee drinkers have that significance of being able to identify different types of coffee. Yeah. Those are like the people who are addicted to coffee. Addicted to teh tarik, be careful. Long-term teh tarik consumption in Malaysia will result in diabetes. So yes, we have alcohol. Yeah, people who drink, there's certainty. If I drink certain number of cups of beer, mugs of beer, I will get certain feeling. Variety, I don't know what I'm going to do next. Yeah, love and connection with all the people who are drinking together with me, and the significance of, hey, I'm a drinker, right? Say ice cream, Lazada, online shopping. Yeah, people who shop together. Yeah. Certainty that when you go online, you're going to buy something, not sure whether it's going to be the variety. I'm not sure what the color is going to come, even though you ordered blue. Yeah. Love and connection with all the other people shopping together. That's why if you look at a lot of the online shops, when you switch on, they will also have prompts like people who bought this as well. People who bought this as well. People who bought this, checked out these things as well. Why? Because that's how different people connect. Yeah, you feel a sense of connection over there. and of course the significance when your items arrive in your office. Okay, so with every kind of addiction and habits, these 4 needs are predominantly there. The more relevant these 4 needs, or the stronger these 4 needs are, the more addictive that habit is. Drug addiction, for example, a certainty that if I take a certain type of drugs, I'm going to have a reaction. Variety, I don't know what's going to happen next. Love and connection, when I'm a drug addict, I connect with other drug addicts. That's 1. 2, I get a lot of attention and love from the people who love me, who want the best for me. And of course, the significance of being an addict. These 4 core human needs is fundamental to understand, regardless whether it's MCO or post-MCO. Because guess what? Post-MCO, we still need certainty. We still need variety. Love and connection might be different. We might not see each other face to face, but online, still love and connection and significance. So I said 6, but I've been talking about these 4. What are the remaining 2? The next one, the 5th one, sorry, give me a second. Let me go back to the presentation. The 5th one is growth. People have a need to grow. People have a need to not just grow physically. I know a lot of people during MCO is growing physically, but grow intellectually, emotionally, spiritually. People have an inherent need to improve themselves, to get better, to be better. And the last human need is a need to contribute, to help others. These last 2 needs are what is known as higher needs. When the first 4 is fulfilled, then the need for 5 and 6 kicks in very strongly. For a lot of our younger generation, for our millennials, the first 4 is a given, and a lot of them are looking mainly at around growth and around contribution. So how do we use these 6 human needs? How do we understand these 6 human needs? Post-MCO doesn't mean that the world will change. It may be impacted. It may have changed a lot of how things are done, but the core human needs are going to be there. We still need the certainty. If I do my job, I get paid. They need variety. They need to be able to have some changes in their lives. If everybody is stuck, why are there so many people who are going insane at home? You know, when they had to go to work every day, they wish I have a longer weekend. Why is the weekend over? Now you have a 1-month weekend and people are going insane because there's too much certainty and not enough variety. Love and connection. How many of you realize, weirdly, during MCO, we seem to have more meetings and more virtual and online and Zoom meetings than even before. It seems even more hardworking than before.
I start hearing like 5 minutes ago. I know.
Hanif, can I have you to mute your line? Thank you. Yes, number 6 is contribution to help others. Yeah, thank you, Faisal, for answering that to Sherry's question. Number 6 is to contribute. Yes. So where was I? And the need for significance is very strong as well. Okay. So any question regarding these 6 human needs so far? If you have, you can unmute and ask, or you can type in the chat. I will take 5 questions. Number 5 is the need to grow. The need to grow intellectually, emotionally, spiritually. Does that answer your question, Czak and David? The number 5 is the need to grow emotionally, intellectually, spiritually, and number 6 is to contribute back to other people. Any other questions? We'll have 4 more questions. Okay, so if there are no questions, this is what I want you to do. I want you to reflect and think. Out of these 6 human needs, what I want you to do, we are coming to how to sustain in the next few slides. But as of these 6 human needs, this is what I want you to do first. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to very quickly think about these 6 and think about which one of these 6 is the most important to you in order of importance. So I want you to rank them from 1 to 6, 1 being the most important, 6 being the least important. I want you to rank all of these 6 human needs to you, okay, in the order of importance. All right, and I'll share with you a little bit more after the 3 minutes is done. So you have 3 minutes to do that. I'm going to pause the sharing here. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to reflect and think about this. You have 3 minutes starting now, and time starts now. Okay, 6 minutes. One minute left. And time. Okay, so I'm going to take 2 questions. I saw 2 questions, which I've retyped it back. The first one is, we are not only addressing Gen Yers, how do we address baby boomers and Gen X? All generations, all human beings have the same 6 human needs. It's not limited to Gen Y. It's across the board. Okay, so
Mr. Soo Hoo, you left about 10 minutes. Yeah, I give you maximum on that. Please take note.
I didn't hear what you said. Somebody said something but I didn't hear it.
Please take care of your time. You still have another 8 slides, but I will give you extra another 10 minutes. Thank you. You have another 8 slides. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So where was I? Okay. So we are not only addressing Gen Y. This is across the board. Everybody has the same need. Will non-Gen Yers have the same needs? The answer is yes. All of you have the same needs. So I'm just going to go back to Maslow very quickly. Physiological safety, social esteem, and self-actualization. This very quickly to understand the fact that right now, post-MCO, you can almost see self-actualization and esteem needs wiped out. People are going back to core. All around the world, it's on a reset right now. Everybody is looking primarily at their physiological needs first, and then they're looking at their safety needs before anything else. Yeah. So all across Gen Y, Gen X, baby boomers is going to be the same. Address their physiological needs first, address their safety needs, and then the rest of it will fall into place after that. Thank you, Dato. 10 more minutes. So motivation direction. Now, how do you sustain motivation? These are the two things that you need to be able to do. Understanding what human needs are and understanding that now people are focused on the core bottom of the pyramid in Maslow. People are either going to be motivated by pain, to move away from pain, or they're going to be motivated by going towards certain pleasure. Okay, in times of crisis, more often than not, people want to move away from pain more than it is towards pleasure. So right now, whether it's MCO or post MCO, you want to be able to focus on giving to your employees a way to fulfill their 6 human needs, or a pain if they don't do certain things, they get a pain that is taking away their 6 human needs. How do you sustain that long term? You have to match and balance it within these two. Giving the 6 needs or taking away the 6 needs when they're not fulfilling their desired outcome. Okay. So let's look at post MCO. I'm sorry to rush through. I was under a mistaken belief I had a longer time than I did. Jeremy shared this. We must act or we die, volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous times. Yesterday, this was also shared. Post MCO, a lot of organizations are looking at possibly cost cutting and salary reduction. For you to be able to motivate your team, go back to the basics. Go back to understanding the core, which is the Maslow's hierarchy and the 6 human needs. Go back to their need, because right now, whether you're Gen X or otherwise, or Gen Y, everybody is going to have a mix, a mesh of flexibility and time. For the organizations that work with clients around the world, or you have branches and divisions around the world, time is now blended. It's not about 9 to 5. It's about getting your KPI, getting your work done within the time that's allocated. Mentoring is going to be more important, more crucial than anything else. The one-on-one love and connection over virtual is going to come up to the forefront and become a very powerful glue that draws your organization together. Right now, you can't check on any of your people. You can't micromanage them physically. So it has to move away towards empowerment today. That means we are going to move towards empowerment to allow the people to do what they think is best to get the job done. The days of jack of all trades, or I'm certified in this, so I can do this, I can do also that, is going to be gone. It's going to be a time when people are focused on their core skills and methodology, which needs to then align with where the company is going. So the leaders need to be able to share even more about company direction and company vision. And of course, reward and validation is going to be very drastically different. Like I said, focus on either taking away the 6 human needs if they're not fulfilling the conditions, or how do you give the 6 human needs when they fulfill the conditions. This is going to be the key cornerstone of how you're going to keep motivation in your employees going forward. So with that, let's do a quick recap. We spoke about 3 key things. Remember that people are not motivated by what you want to give them. They are motivated instead by what they need, which is their 6 core human needs. So I'm going to open the floor now for one last round of Q&A before we sign off. Any questions? The slides will be shared. I think Dato has sent a link to the slide share. You can download from there. Yeah, it'll be in the Telegram, and then I think there's also a new group set up, a new community set up to put all the HR practitioners and learners together. If you have any questions, very quickly, I will answer your questions now. How do you sustain self-motivation? Sustaining for your employees is easier sometimes because you can give to them the 6 human needs or take away from them the 6 human needs. Give me a second. But to sustain for yourself, it's a matter of how are you fulfilling the 6 needs that you have? How are you getting your growth during MCO? How are you getting your contribution during MCO and post MCO? Go back to which one of the 6 needs is core to you, and you need to find out whether it's being fulfilled and being met. If it's not, then you need to work on that. Does that answer your question, Dr. Diana? Any other questions? I am going to stop screen share. Yep.
We just created a group community chat that I put the address over there. So please join the community, and also currently we have a total of 14 now. We hope to see you there, and we will share the video link and also the PowerPoint after the session. Then not only that, we also will share the previous video and also the previous video and also previous slide sessions in the Telegram as well, so that you can refer to it. Or if you have any questions about human behavior, any question about human itself, how to handle human, and also how to change human, anything about human, that will be the group that you can refer to. Thank you very much. Oh, Mrs. Soo Hoo, or you want to answer uh, Donna question, or I can help you to answer as well. Let me share with you the what is that called, the reverse mentoring culture that I would encourage by using nudges. It means one of the behavioral change tools is known as nudges and choice architecture. So number one, what you have to do is when you talk to your employee, you have to tell them that this is voluntary basis, meaning that we do not force them to join or to be participating in that mentor-mentee system. Step number one. Step number two, human always like to be in control. So because of this, so you must be able to let them to know that, okay, the session of mentor-mentee can end anytime as they wish. So it means that both also have the authority to start or to end. Number three, of course, to create as a culture, you have to know people motivations. When we talk about people motivations, so I would like you to also do some reading. Later, I will share some of the journal or reading material. How do we change human behavior actually? So usually we call it as the a few of the important model that we use actually. One of it is we refer to the first step is called pre-contemplation or determination, meaning then let them to choose whether they want to join or don't want to join. Then the second one, you start with the maintenance, contemplation. Then later on, you have to start with the determination and action. The next step is action. You have to go back to the maintenance and action again, because or else it would be very difficult to sustain the culture or sustain the programs. For example, people know that smoking is not good, but a lot of people try to stop smoking. But the issue is that maybe if a person got admitted to hospital, they will stop smoking for a period of time while they are in the hospital. But after that discharge from the hospital, after 1 or 2 months, they not only 1 or 2 months, 1 or 2 weeks, they might forget about the scenario. So they will start to smoke again. There is no maintenance of the culture for change over there. So that's why the model that I suggest just now is one of the model for you to change a human so that they can become the new habit, the new habit, and also become istiqomah actually. The most important, whatever change that we want, especially let's say reverse mentoring, it needs to be in the area of the reverse psychology, because means that reverse mentoring is more towards talk about the technology, digital tools. So you have to let them to accept that learning are boundaries and also two ways actually. Admin, can you please check the line of Mr. Soo Hoo? Is he still in the system, or else I can help Mr. Soo to answer the question for Mazwan, how to motivate our staff when we have already taken their salary out. Is Mr. Soo Hoo still here, or I can help? Can anybody hear me? Okay, let me. I think I will help Mr. Soo Hoo to answer the question. Yeah, how do we motivate our staff when we already asking them to cut salary? For this,
Sorry.
we talk. Oh no,
Oh,
Mr.
can
Soo
you
is
hear me
back,
now?
so I let Mr. Soo to answer that.
Okay, I saw two questions. I'm sorry, Mazwan. I went offline when I thought the call was over. Can you hear me, Mazwan? How do you motivate our staff when we are already asking them to take a salary cut? And the first Maslow's was taken out. Well, firstly, it is not Maslow's. The certainty is not from Maslow. Certainty is from Tony Robbins. Certainty and variety. Maslow's first level will be our physiological need: food, shelter, water, warmth. Now, when we look at taking away salary, we have to understand that, and this is going to be a very social concern actually. We have to understand that the world is going to change quite drastically. What used to be uh, necessities may now be seen as luxury. So if you have taken away some salary, we need to see how else we can fulfill their need for food, water, shelter, warmth. This is the key fundamental that everybody is moving into right now. For some organizations, it's a matter of balancing what is needed in terms of salary payment with maybe some kind of transportation to office instead, or work from home so that you don't have to come to office. You can save some costs in traveling, and therefore those costs can then be passed on. Yeah, those savings can be passed on. Think back to 1980s when organizations had like this canteen and cafeteria type food environment. Why do they do that? Because you save some cost in food consumption, and therefore the salary is able to be minimized a little bit because it's then provided through the other benefits of maybe cafeteria or some other form in that sense. Uniform is provided, so you don't need to buy clothes, new clothes in that manner. So all of these are ways that we can trim down their need for food, water, shelter, warmth. It's not a matter of telling them to just scale down, it's to offer them an option, an opportunity to see what are the core necessities that the company can still provide in exchange for that. And guess what? The other part of the equation is, if it's not the salary cut, it might be the whole organization going to go down. And if that happens, then everybody's not going to have food, water, shelter, warmth. So I think it's going to be a manner where organizations are going to look at things, for example, with childcare. Can you provide affordable childcare or free childcare so that the family do not have to pay for that, and where they don't have to pay for that, they get some savings to compensate for the salary cut. You also might, like for me personally, I'm looking at possibility of even families going back to single income families, where either the husband or the wife is going to stay at home and take care of the kids. The reason why we never had or we don't really have a lot of single income families right now is because when the world was driven in a height of the economy, we are going up for a lot of luxury. I think right now it's going to be a scale back to where it used to be, where basic necessities are core and fundamental. Yeah, hopefully that answers your question, Mazwan. I think I overheard a little bit as I came back in. Donna's question was answered by Dato. Yeah, so I think that was handled by Dato already. So does that answer your question, Mazwan, on what else you can do in organizations, what else you can provide in order for them to be able to see that the pay cut is not a salary cut in that sense, but rather it's a shifting. They're still being provided for, their basic needs are still provided for, but everybody's taking a trimmed down environment. Yeah. Nazwan, are you still here? Okay. Then I'm going to jump to Donna's question since there's not many other questions. Donna asked, how do you create a culture of reverse mentoring? We have started, but wanted to know if you have any tips. Right now, it's easier than any other time in order to be doing reverse mentoring, because the Generation X and the baby boomers are now scratching our heads thinking, what are we going to be able to do next? You know, a lot of the older generation, the more senior employees, they are floundering because the world as they know it has shifted so dramatically and so radically. It's a time when it's not about who's going to mentor who, but pulling together your high potentials and your management team together and creating masterminds. Create small mini mastermind groups that can do idea sharing, that can do brainstorming without having to look at who is carrying a heavier title, you know, who's carrying a bigger title, and flatten the landscape in that sense. Because right now, you never know, there might be a lot of new ideas and new ways to pivot the business that the younger generation will be able to generate, where the older ones might be clueless on what to do. Yeah, so it built small working groups, brainstorming groups, to encourage that collaboration between the Gen X and the Gen Y, the baby boomers and the Gen Y, and that will shift the paradigm radically for your organization. I think that will be able to help you with your reverse mentoring. Yeah, I hope. Yeah. Okay. I hope that answered your question, Donna. I don't see any other questions here. If you do have more questions, please post them before I log off as well. I'm also in the Telegram chat, so if you want to reach out to me in the Telegram chat, feel free to do so. Yeah, I don't check Telegram regularly, but I think the Telegram will give you my contact details and you can send me a message if you want to. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you have. Okay, any other questions? Okay, looks like we have no more questions. With that, thank you very much. I will see you all. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. So hope to see you at the Telegram. Thank you.